This morning we're going to visit Sonwabo Primary School in Gugulethu. It is one of the 3 capsule program schools. Has been a great success so far, and I'm very excited to see what they're doing right now.
Coronation's a listed asset management company, so we look after the savings of people of South Africa, but along with that, we also want to be a good corporate citizen. In terms of our corporate citizen programs and the CSI programs that we run specifically, a lot of it's focused on education. We've now created a program called the Capsule Program, where we've recognized that it's not only about looking at the education in terms of literacy or numeracy in isolation, but actually incorporating society, the parents, the principals, the school, and having them operate with a sole focus on the child, so that the child gets the support to, one, fulfill their educational needs, but I think more importantly, to provide them with opportunities down the line.
At Sonwabo, the most exciting program that I'm looking forward to seeing is the Coronation Schools Garden program, which is run in conjunction with the South African Institute for Entrepreneurs. They grow their own produce and they serve it in the school canteen, and any excess they sell. I think one of the nice things to see is the learners engaging in planting, growing, and sell produce, as well as understand the finances around the produce that they themselves have helped create. One interaction that was really adorable was a grade 5 learner telling me that she believed that the spinach that they had grown, they should sell to the school for 7 Rand and make a 2 Rand profit, which they themselves get to keep, which I thought was quite a smart and entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, I know in 10 years, 20 years to come, what we are doing there in the vegetarian company, they will never forget it. You have now grown vegetable organic, now you can sell them, you know? And then when you sell them, look at the profits. They will be able to link what they are learning inside the classroom, making money as well. It's life.
One of the initiatives that's also incorporated within the capsule program is the Principals Academy, which is a mentorship of principals by former principals. It's quite exciting to see how these principals gain as much knowledge as they can to take back to their own schools, purely to give their community the best school that they can.
My partnership with Bruce is excellent because he does not impose. He is a negotiator to say, this is what I think we should look at it. How do you feel about it? What are your needs? And then we will deal with that.
There's so many programs within the Coronation Social Investment that we couldn't see or talk about all of them. What we've seen today has been 2 very important ones. And when I walked into Sonwabo this morning, the first thing that drew my eyes was the school motto, "We fly to reach the sky." And if that isn't testament to what we're trying to achieve, I don't know what is.
Life is a constant journey of learning, and that's one thing I yearn and I hunger for is to learn. So one is never too old to learn. That's one thing I've learned even from my grandmother, who literally was a nurse and then raised 7 kids and still managed after that to go and get a degree. So one thing that's been planted through us kids is education, education, education. My involvement with Coronation came through a program here at UWC, which is Young Investors Program, YIP. The Young Investors Program is about trying to bridge the gap for students between the theory that we learn at school and then the practical that Coronation applies through asset management. My game plan through this program, YIP, is to get practical experience where I can see how things are done because I read a lot about how things go, how things move, but just literally seeing and experiencing what goes on, how it takes from a practical perspective is one thing I'd like to achieve through this program.
So what you're really trying to do here is bridge the gap. Once students have been educated, to get them into the working environment. It's one thing kind of passing your exams, but understanding how higher life works sometimes is a lot more difficult than actually going to university. I think in the engagement with companies like Coronation, they're able to match the theory with the practice, and it really makes it more real for them so that they can, I think, also find a purpose behind what they're doing. So it's not just a book exercise. These kids are the future of South Africa. We need to ensure that they are equipped to deal with the world, but more importantly, that they can see the opportunities, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel and know that they're working towards something concrete so that they can also add value to society. Oh, you don't have to clap. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Coronation's head office. I really want this afternoon to be an interactive session, so ask the questions I'm going to do. When you meet these young students and you see the burning desire in their eyes to succeed, and then being able to provide the opportunity to marry that desire with their aspirations, and in some cases actually start to see the first steps being taken to that. It's really it's a heartwarming experience.
When I go to Coronation, I definitely feel welcome. I mean, it's a very open, competitive environment that I see, but I mean, it's an environment where all doors are open for people to interact and engage with one another. It encourages for me curiosity, which is one of the reasons why I think I'd fit in very well with my inquisitive nature to try and learn and understand how the minds who are running Coronation work.
The future does really belong to the youth, so best we look after them and equip them to look after that future. It's nothing short of amazing when you are able to fulfill your dreams and your ambitions because you've been given opportunities. And I think that's what's kind of lacking in the country at the moment, is that we're not providing our youth with the opportunities so that they can expand, grow their talents, see that there's something bigger and better out there for them.
Growing up, I didn't really have any role models or mentors. I was raised by a single mother who worked 3 jobs. There's no money to invest at the end of the day. So the concept of an investment company was something that was very, very new. If you are a people's company, which we are, we generate everything we do through the collective ideas and judgment of the people in this building. If you can provide forums and platforms where people are more inspired, they feel more open, they learn better and therefore can contribute better, I believe you get a better outcome for the organization as a whole. Lean In is a platform which provides support and inspiration. And the idea behind it is that we want to learn from it, we want to get better, we want to do more. And a huge part of the learnings over the years is to find your voice, to use your voice, and to use the position of influence that one has within the organization to actually help others.
The Lean In initiative, when I first heard about it, I was very keen. You go there because you want to grow and you want to give more to others and also learn from others. So the interactions, the learning and everything that actually came with the initiative has been amazing. I think it was very important for me to actually also realize that I also had a part to play in making the conversations.
So one of the fantastic things at Coronation, we've got a majority female workforce, which I think is very, very unique in the financial services sector. And despite this being a tough industry, known to be male-dominated, we're not the case, but we're still prepared to have these discussions. We're prepared to have forums that openly invite equality and people to talk about their experiences, which may not all be positive. It is time to speak out so people realize they're not alone, that through the collective speaking out, there's learnings, there's an understanding of what can change and how we can make the businesses and the economy more inclusive.
For me, Coronation stands out solely because at the end of the day, I think they're really focused on the people. I feel valued. I feel that I'm not just a number. I feel that my voice is heard. And I think that just wants me to actually give more to the company because they take good care of me.
The asset of this company is really the people that come into the offices on a day-to-day basis. So what we're trying to do in our small way is to ensure that we not only manage people's money, but we also try and contribute to society in a meaningful way, ensure that there's substantive transformation. It's really incorporated into what we do. We fully understand that as a good corporate citizen and as a company operating in South Africa, that we need to play our role in ensuring that we ultimately reflect the demographics of the country.
It's one thing sitting in a boardroom and deciding around the initiatives that we support, and another thing to actually see them, and it gives me hope and encouragement.
In trying to bridge that gap, in trying to mitigate the huge divide, in trying to create opportunities for the ones who are disadvantaged, the importance of that role is critical, and one is very thankful that Coronation tries to do their part, you know. And I would hope they would continue to play their part in bridging that gap for the future of the country.
My name is Rogers Chiwai. I'm the Deputy Principal at Harmony Christian School, as well as a maths and science teacher. There are a lot of doors that needs to be opened, you know, for life in general. Education is very important because education is the key. Education is one of the very few professions that you get to make a direct impact in a person's life. So if it is done in the correct way, it really changes a person's destiny forever. Making a difference in a learner's life is very exciting, and at the same time, you need to ask yourself constantly, how best can I do it? One of my jobs here is to order books for the learners across all the grades. One particular book that I was looking for, it was only available in digital format. The leading publishers of textbooks that we have always been using in the classroom, Pearson, introduced me, said, okay, we can give you an e-book. I said, yes, let me try this in our classrooms.
In an experiment of coin toss, there are two possible outcomes.
The main challenges with the South African education system is because of the historical background. The playing field is not level. There are schools that are very well resourced and other schools that are really not resourced. Those historical problems really make it very difficult for the child in the classroom. Okay, our lesson today we are going to look at probability. Okay, somebody tell me, what do you understand by the word probability?
My name is Ibrahim Matthews. I work for Pearson. We are the world's learning company. I don't think any conversation about education in South Africa is complete without considering the legacy of the past. We all understand that education is key to making a difference and to helping alleviate poverty.
How did you find 1/2?
But we've seen the statistics. We know that South Africa, when you look at global benchmark studies, we perform among the lowest in terms of mathematics, literacy. So we've got serious challenges in this country when it comes to education.
Theoretical is what?
If you use digital and you use technology appropriately, you actually can overcome a lot of these challenges related to inequality.
Science is such a fundamental part of every child's education. A laboratory is an expensive environment to resource. We can simulate a laboratory where a child can see a physical experiment merely by looking at a screen rather than being in a physical laboratory. It works very simply off a simple flash disk. For example, we've taken the entire maths curriculum and broken it into about 150 lessons. And each day, a teacher then projects the lesson onto the screen. Included in that are videos, interactive assets, etc.
I am not disadvantaged because I don't have internet, or maybe the internet is slow. They are offline, so you can use them without the internet. Even these kids have got access to phones and to tablets because these things are becoming cheaper and cheaper. So now technology is bridging that gap between the haves and the have-not.
A big part of why we invested so heavily in the MyPedia solution is because of the teacher having to prepare lessons each day, having to mark assignments, having to prepare tests. So this places a massive burden on their time and on their resources. What MyPedia does is it takes away a lot of the lesson preparation time required.
I see a very big difference since we started using MyPedia. Just the thought of bringing a tablet into the classroom for them, it's very exciting. You know, it stimulates their learning. For this country, society is going to change because people from different backgrounds are going to have the same opportunities in life.
Our vision is to get to a point where South Africa is amongst the best in terms of its literacy or numeracy, where we actually can compete on a global basis.
My name is Gugulethu Sikwana. I teach in Imbendulo Primary School, Makaza, Khayelitsha in the Western Cape. It is important for them to learn reading at this stage because if they miss it out now, they won't make it.
Vuma is our early childhood reading program that we've developed specifically for the South African child. It is developed in a number of different South African languages, so it's written in those languages rather than a translation. We also have a very diverse and culturally diverse group of characters in the book. So every South African child can see themselves in it and can also see their classmates in it.
Reading was a threat to them when they first came to the grade 3 class. But now, each and every day, teacher, we did not read today. Because of Fuma, they can read and they are confident when they read.
My hope for all children in this country is the same hopes and dreams I had for myself. You just want a fair shot. From personal experience, I know education is oftentimes the only route for children, particularly from underprivileged backgrounds in this country, the only route to a better life. So all I'm wanting for every single South African child is a fair shot. And the way you do that is by providing them with a decent education. What we do is not just confined to schooling. Pearson impacts people who are studying at university, in vocational colleges, adult education.
My name is Bonginkosi Mkunu. My dad drove a taxi. I have 4 brothers and all of them have followed him into the taxi business. So my mother used to tell me, I just want just one of my children not to be a taxi driver. She wouldn't let me learn to drive. She just wanted me to study. So in my matric year, We were filing applications for bursaries to study the following year. I got a phone call from Pearson Marine Education Trust telling me that I had actually made it. I got the bursary. And that was such an amazing thing because I'd given up at that moment.
One of the challenges with a young matriculant leaving school today is they may not be properly prepared to enter a formal university. So we've designed the Pearson Institute of Higher Education around access. We have a year's program that helps these students prepare for a formal degree.
So the bursary paid all my fees throughout the 3 years. And they also gave me a tablet, accommodation, and also an allowance for myself. The work while I was studying was a lot. I decided to study BCom Law. I wanted a degree that will give me a lot of opportunities. I worked really hard. I always wanted to get 100%. Even a 99 will not satisfy me. I just want 100. My marks were good. They were very good, actually.
So you find that your profits are getting higher, but your fixed costs are remaining constant.
So I got a cum laude for my BCom Law degree. But then now that I have that degree and I've made it with a cum laude, I feel like I'm ready I can just study anything and make it. My mother made sure while I'm studying, I don't have any distractions. She told all of them that they shouldn't tell me that she's in a hospital. I used to call her sometimes and ask her, how you doing? And she would say, I'm home, I'm good. But she passed away. She just wanted me to get my degree, move forward. On my graduation day, I went to my family and it was quite late. They were standing there cheering when the car came. They all came to the car singing. And we drove just 100 meters towards our home. We were all singing on the road and celebrating.
We know that our products are improving people's lives. But when you see it in action, when you see someone given the opportunity and then take that opportunity and run with it, you feel like you're making that difference that we all talk about.
The Graduate Development Program is an 18-month program that Pearson offers. It's a very good way to start your career. I've completed the first 6 months. Working at Pearson is really amazing because the company is very modern and you have such people of good caliber. I don't know where they get their employees, but I've met people who have achieved great things, and working with those kind of people actually encourages you to imagine more.
And if you just put a lot of effort for now, I'm telling you, very soon you're going to realize, school is off. So it's very important for the education system to have partners like Pearson. They come up with these innovations to bring solutions to our problems.
One thing that I know that pushes you forward no matter where you are, it gives you a chance that is learning.
Education is critical to help turn this country around. We want to make a true difference and a positive impact on educational outcomes in this country. And that's why we do what we do. We are passionate about South Africa and making a meaningful difference.